everyone, it's Janet here on this New Year's Day of 2013. I wanted to wish everyone a wonderful Happy New Year, and I hope it's a creative and great year for all of you. And I have a design team project for the Wild Bunch and Wild Orchid Crafts, and what I was doing today is I was making some thank you cards for all of my Christmas gifts, and I wanted to use up the scraps of papers that I had used for Christmas projects. So the paper lines that I was mainly working with was the Pink Paisley City Sidewalks, and I had a few pieces of the October Afternoon Merry and Bright collection. So what I did is I had some glassine envelopes that were this size right here. So I just want to make some little cards that I could write a little note on. So this is one of the cards that I came up with. And all I did was I just cut out the background piece of paper, and this is the October Afternoon paper. I cut the paper at 3 inches by 4 3/4 inches, and then I just rounded the edges with the 1/4 inch round. And then the vellum I cut at 2 3/4 by 4 1/2, and then I just made this top piece here at 2 1/4 by 3 inches, and then I just used a punch and punched the edge, and I layered some of the beautiful Wild Orchid Craft lace. And what I was trying to do was use up little scraps of pieces of everything, including the beautiful lace. I didn't want any of it to go to waste, so I used several different kinds of the lace, and I will put the links to everything down below because they are all different, just using up my scraps. And on this one I used the red Divine Baker's Twine from Wild Orchid Crafts, and on the ones that I put flowers I used the little pack of red tone roses, the 15mm EX00001. Those worked perfectly to just put right there. So they were really easy to make. I'm using up my scraps, and on the vellum I just am writing on them with a red Sharpie. So you can still see the paper in the background, and yet you have a nice little writing area. And then I'll just slip it in the glassine bag and give it out to my friends. So I'll show you some of the different ones that I did, just different papers and these little different laces. This is all I had left of this beautiful lace, and I just hate to put it to waste, so this worked out perfectly to use it up. So that is that one. This one is using some of the Guipure lace and some of the Wild Orchid Crafts seam binding. This one is the Cruise Beige, and I'll put the number down below. So that is that little card. And this one also uses the Cruise Beige seam binding and the little red flower and some of the different crocheted lace. And here's another one. This one is using the red and white tone pack. It's out of that same pack of red flowers. But there's that one. So it was really easy to make all different ways. This one I just used some rickrack that I had and some twine, and then the Guipure lace on top of that. So I think they turned out really nice. They're really quick to make, and I'm using up all my scraps because one piece of 12 by 12 paper made quite a few of them. And then the tops that just could be used, made out of scraps. Now this one I used the seam binding from Wild Orchid Crafts, which is the Bay Leaf SB00024. Such a beautiful aqua color. So that's that one. And then I made one bigger one. And underneath this one I used one of the doilies from the doily pack at Wild Orchid Crafts. It's right under here. And I actually used a little bit of the old paper distress ink on top of it to give it a little more of an off-white color because it's pretty bright white. So in this one I had printed this out on my computer, just a border with the red. A little bit bigger card with some ribbon from my stash. So that is that card. And then I also made a winter shaker tag. In the last video I did some winter masculine shaker cards, And I wanted to take it a little bit further, and I had this window from Kaiser Craft, and I don't know if you can see the whole tag, but I used the silver rub and buff on it. It really turned out nice. And behind it I put a transparency, and then I put behind that I put a picture that I got off of the print shop, a winter scene. I stickled some of the branches before I put the transparency on. And then I glued, on this one I didn't sew it, I just glued around the edges and then poured in the snow glitter and also some of Wild Orchid Crafts German glass turquoise glitter. Beautiful color. So once again, this is a shaker card too. The snow comes down. And I'm going to, actually I'm not going to give this one away. I'm going to use this one in my decorating because these are the colors of my house, the aqua. So I thought I will just use it in my house to kind of bring in the winter. And I actually have a crystal snowflake attached to the back. And I used some of the city sidewalks, the aqua snowflake paper. And right here I have a little piece of canvas that I printed Love Winter on it. And a snowflake with a bling and some twine. And then underneath here I have some more of that beautiful Guipure lace. This is just absolutely my favorite. And then some trim from my stash, some aqua trim down here. And then at the top I used some of that same vintage seam binding from Wild Orchid Crafts in the bay leaf. Beautiful color. And then some other fibers that I had in my stash. So beautiful tag. I was really happy with the way it turned out, and then it has the real winter effect to it. So I just thought I'd share those few little projects with you. I hope everyone has a wonderful new year. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!